Hey guys, Jonniebee here. You guys ready? I'm getting the thumbs up already. Here we go. It is Wednesday, October 25th. And I'm going to play my selection of music that I want to play for you guys. Hold on. All right, guys. Here we go.
You walk, you run, you climb, and you fall again. You crawl, you fight, you break apart tonight. But I am the voice that keeps on calling out to you, lighting up the dark. I turn chaos into art. So if you're falling under, or if you're letting go, don't you worry tonight, I will hold you. Don't you worry, my child, I'll stay by your side. In the middle of it,
In the middle of it, I'll hold you, hold you, hold you tight.
you dream, you chase, you bleed. A story in these scars, so never go. You lost and found, I'm here and now. And underneath these stars, I see just who you are. Don't you worry tonight, I will hold you. Don't you worry, my child, I'll stay by your side.
In the middle of it, in the middle of it, I'll hold you, hold you, hold you tight.
You don't have to worry, you don't have to hide. I know you're weary,
Weary from the fight,
you don't have to fear now. I'm here by your side, and I'm gonna
wait here by the night.
Don't you worry tonight, I will hold you. Don't you worry, my child, I'll stay by your side. In the middle of it, in the middle of it, I will
Hold you, hold you.
hold you tight. Don't you worry tonight, I will hold you. Don't you worry, my child, I'll stay by your side.
In the middle of it, in the middle of it, I'll hold you, hold you, hold you tight. Oh gosh.
Hold you tight. Hold you tight.
You guys, that there was Dan Bremnes. B as in boy, R as in Robert, E as in egg, M as in Mary, N as in Nancy, E as in egg, S as in Sam. Dan Bremnes, hold you tight. Such an awesome song for today because, my gosh, that video is just where I am today. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, it is Wednesday, October 25th. Just checking in. How are you guys doing out there today? Everybody okay today? Again, like I said, if you're not, that's okay. You're in the right place. So I am Johnny Belinda Hopkins, author of the new book titled God's Gift to You, Book 1. I am also advocating for mental health awareness, mental health wellness tied to education. So if this is your first time coming over to my YouTube page, thank you for stopping by and welcome. If you have been here before and you decided to come visit me again, welcome back and thank you for being here. So you guys, there is no structure um, here at my YouTube page, Jonniebee 9458, advocating for mental health awareness, mental health wellness tied to education. Um, so I wrote a book, like I said, titled God's Gift to You, Book One, and it got published. And my publishing company suggested that I create a professional Facebook page, which I have, Johnny B. Hopkins, author. I also have a personal Facebook page, Johnny B. Um, I use social media to advertise, market, and promote my book. Um, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, like you name it, I've done it, right? And since I wrote my book, yes, I decided to advocate for mental health awareness, mental health wellness tied to education. I feel very strongly about my cause because I myself have a mental health disease. I have a diagnosis. I'm on treatment. I've been on meds for decades now. Um, I have other family members who also have mental health illnesses. Um, One of those family members, which was my sister, she lost her battle with her mental health illness at the age of 35. And, it was very tough for me losing my only sister. We were very close, we were a year apart. Um, it was very difficult, and I struggled during that time really bad. And I even, you know, um, had suicidal thoughts. I was causing harm to myself, and that continued for 2 years until at the end of that, I found myself on my kitchen floor. And, I was tired. I was just, I felt like I just couldn't take anymore. Um, but in that moment, I had an awakening. Like, you know, I started thinking about, like, oh my God, like, like my parents, I had to watch them stand over their firstborn's body and put it in the ground, right? And I thought to myself, after being harmful to myself for 2 years, like, how dare you? Like, um, why would I put my parents through that again? After watching them bury their first child, like, who am I to um, have to make them go through that again with their second child? I also thought about my daughter, like, oh my God, like, I didn't want my daughter to come home and find her mom on the kitchen floor. I'm laughing, it's not funny. I'm just weird like that. Um, so I fought. Like, at that moment, I had to fight, to get up off of that kitchen floor. And I got myself outside of my house. I went to a neighbor's house, and I was like banging on my neighbor's door and was asking them to call 911 for me because I needed help. And, the ambulance came, and it was so embarrassing. It was so humiliated. Um, them putting me in the back of that ambulance and going to the hospital. Um, it was even more embarrassing when I don't know how my daughter found out that I was in the hospital at that time. She came to see me, and she had a friend with her. And I was so embarrassed, and I was so ashamed, like laying there in that hospital, looking at my daughter, look at me, her mom. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But one thing I did do was, I got better and I went on and I never looked back. Um, and I have not been harmful to myself since. A lot of times, like our minds will play tricks on us where we feel like we want to die, right? But we really don't. I think the pain just gets too unbearable. Um, I think we just get tired. I think in that moment, like for me, like I wasn't even thinking. I was not thinking clearly. I just was, I couldn't believe that my sister was no longer here on this earth. And I just couldn't understand it. And I just wanted to be with her. Like wherever she was, I just wanted to be with her. Like I felt like I had to find her. Like I just, you know, um, and I almost followed her beyond this earth, right? But then like, I had to realize like, when my sister passed away, like watching the family and what they had to go through, when dealing with her loss. And she left 4 children behind on this earth, um, all under the age of 18. And I had to realize like you're about to do the same thing. Like you're angry with your sister for leaving the earth, and yet here you are about to do the same thing. um so I had to fight. I had to fight. Like I knew I didn't want to die. I just couldn't understand like where my sister, like where she went, why she wasn't here. um that was just so much. Anyway, and the fact that I do have a mental health disease even at that time, right? um I didn't process things clearly. I couldn't think clearly. I couldn't focus. Anyway, like I said, it got past that. Life went on. During the 2 years that I was harmful to myself, I know that I put some people, family members, through some horrific things. As an adult, I've had these conversations with my daughter, who is now grown, and I had to listen to how it affected her and how it made her feel. And it was hard. It was a hard thing to hear from my daughter. And when she would have this conversation with me, I would just cry, and she would say, "Mom, this is why I don't want to tell you about things because, you cry." And I had to tell my daughter, like, please don't stop talking. Like, I want to hear what you have to say. I don't care if I cry. And I had to explain to her, I only cry because it hurts. It hurts to hear, your side of things and what you went through, because that was never my intentions. And I had to explain to her that I wasn't in a healthy place. I just, here I am mourning the loss of my only sister, um, watching my parents go through what they had to go through, um, and me going through it and not even realizing like my daughter was going through it, right? She had lost her aunt. She was very close to her aunt. Um, she was old enough, and she understood. And, I wasn't there for her to support her through that. And I had to like explain to her, like, I really wasn't there for myself, not alone being there for someone else. But I did snap out of it and I got better, and me and my daughter's life continued on. Um, I want to say, like during that time after that harmful period, right? I started to take my mental health more seriously. Like I had to start taking my meds. I had to get real serious about my mental health, because I'm gonna tell you, like, even though I was no longer doing harmful things to myself. I was still having harmful thoughts. It's not like I wanted to have them. Um, and it wasn't probably just the loss of my sister. Like, if you've ever purchased my book, God's Gift to You, book 1, it's just been a very difficult life. And it doesn't seem like it ever stops. And I've come to realize, like, I always say this, like, none of us created this world. None of us asked to be here. Like, we didn't really have a say in the matter, but here we are, right? And we just have to make the best of a crazy world, because it's a crazy world we live in. Sorry, guys. But if I don't do that, I will keep sniffling through this whole session, and it'll be annoying. Not just to me, but to you guys, too. So I try not to cry, but I think crying is just a release, right? It can be healing. We don't want all that stuff built up in us and just holding on to it, right? We got to let it out. So where I was going with that when I started that conversation is, like I said, since I wrote my book, I decided to become an advocate for mental health awareness, mental health wellness tied to education. And I started doing this YouTube channel because I felt like, it is an option for people who have a mental health illness, and even for people who don't have a mental health illness, like maybe you have a loved one, a sibling, a parent, a friend, a child who has a mental health disease, and you're trying to be there to support that person, and you really don't know how to you are trying to connect with this person. It's tough. It's tough. I know, because before I even knew that I had a mental health disease, right? I had to be there to support my sister and walk with her by her side in life, and experience things with her and go through things with her that I didn't quite understand. There were times when I would be angry with her. Like, I couldn't understand why she was doing the things that she was doing. And even in her last days, right, before she passed, she said some things to me, and I don't think I responded appropriately. I don't think I took it serious. I've never heard anyone say anything like that, and being that this was my sister, it was like, I don't know. So yeah, the signs and symptoms were there, but I didn't know anything about a mental health disease. Like, even though I had a mental health disease, I went through years of not knowing I had a mental health disease. Like, I was just doing stuff, and yeah. Anyway, my point in saying all that, right, is like, so this idea of creating this platform on YouTube for mental health awareness, mental health wellness tied to education is just an idea that I had, that I decided to do since I wrote my book, God's Gift to You, going on the basis that, I am a person with a mental health disease. Not only do I have experience with dealing with my own mental health, but, having to be there for other family members and support them through their mental health illnesses, and, watching them go through stuff, and not really understanding them and why they were doing the things that they were doing. Like I said, which was odd because I myself had a mental health disease. So how is it that I have a mental health disease, and I know that other family members have this mental health disease, and I'm watching them go through stuff, and I'm watching their behaviors, and I'm watching them do things and I get angry with them for doing things. What I mean by that is the attempts that my sister took on her life. Like, there were times that she attempted suicide, and I had to go there, and be the one to care for her, call 911, support her. There were things that I seen, and boy, he didn't register to me. I didn't know why she was doing those things. The funny thing about mental health, right? There were things that I've done that I didn't even remember doing. Like, I remember my youngest brother told me of a time that when I was a kid, I had swallowed a bunch of pills. And until he told me that, I didn't remember. I didn't remember doing that. And when he told me, I was like, wow. And then I did remember. There was a time that my daughter, as an adult, told me that when she was younger, she heard me on the phone talking about taking my life. And I was like blown away when she told me that, because I was like, oh my God, you heard me? Like, and at that moment, I thought I was in my room. I thought the door was closed. I didn't think she could hear me, and apparently she did, right? So I had to deal with that. So anyway, like I said, this is not a structured thing. Like, I started out just like teaching you guys about mental health illnesses, teaching you about the signs, the symptoms, the causes, the effects, what it was like for me, growing up with a mental health disease. I am in my wellness state now. I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm sitting here crying, but I am in a better place as far as my mental health, but there is still so much pain. So much pain. And I started out coming up on here and being like positive and all made up with the hair and the makeup and the jewelry and trying to be positive, because if I'm going to advocate for mental health wellness, right? Mental health awareness, mental health wellness tied to education, like, appearance was everything. You got to do the hair, you got to do the makeup, you got to represent yourself very well if you're going to lead people on their journey of mental health awareness to mental health wellness tied to education, right? But lately I have not been creating any content for my sessions. Like, I just been like letting you guys in and letting you guys actually see me. For a lot of years, like, I never really talked about my mental health disease. I tried to like downplay it. We all pretend to be okay. We all pretend to be normal. We want society to see the image that society likes to see, right? But since I wrote my book, God's Gift to You, I started speaking up about my mental health disease and, my teachings about mental health awareness, mental health wellness tied to education. I also talk about how society reacts and responds to people with mental health illnesses, right? I mean, because they don't really know. I mean, they know, but, people still react and respond, like, the stigmas about mental health diseases. And, I taught about that, like how I denied myself treatment for many years because of the stigmas that were placed in me growing up in life, from my community, my neighborhood, And then I ran into an issue with religion, my faith. Like, God heals everything. Like, you don't need meds. Like, you just got to pray and you got to believe in it and God's going to fix it, right? Like, all this stuff, right? And even in that moment, like, after a while of just praying and believing that God was going to fix everything and God was going to heal me, and when it didn't happen, right, I had to realize, like, yes, God is going to heal me, but I have to do my part. Like, a lot of people get it so twisted. Like, they put everything on God. Like, God can do this and God can do that. Yes, God can do some things, but you got to do your part too. Like, I had to realize, like, you know, um, when it came to my mental health, right? Like, God made people, God gave them gifts, like the doctors, right? The researchers, the chemists, like, God gave them gifts to mix some stupid chemicals together and put them in a little tiny pill for people to take that actually need them, right? Like, how am I going to get better if I don't take the steps to get better? Like, regardless to the stigmas, you know, I can't mix chemicals together. I don't know how to do that stuff, but God gave certain people gifts that they're able to do that, right? And he must have known that some of his people was going to need that stuff. Why else would he had given those people the gifts of being able to mix chemicals together and put them in a little tiny pill, right? So all that freaking stigma with religion and medicine and mental health, like, I had to get past that stuff. Like, I stayed sick for a long time, believing that God was going to fix me, right? But then I realized, like, yes, God can fix me, but there's some stuff I got to do. Um, you know, my mental health is not going to go away. I have to learn how to, manage my life with a mental health disease probably for the rest of my life. Some people lose a loved one and they'll fall into depression, but then they come out of it. Some people, you know, it runs in the family. You're probably born with a mental health illness. Maybe something traumatic happened to you and you took a blow to your head. Like, there's lots of reasons why somebody could end up with depression, right? And for us, it doesn't go away. It's not going to get better. Like, I mean, you could take your meds, but you still have to deal with this thing for the rest of your life. Like, it's not going to just magically go away. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. It's not going to magically go away, right? So I spent years, I have struggled when it comes to relationships. And I'm not just talking about the romantic relationships, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the husband, the wife. I'm talking about relationships in general with people. I struggle in that area. I struggle with keeping a job. Like, yes, I can get a job and I might do good at that job for a year or 2 or 5, but eventually something happens and I lose the job and then I have to start all over again. There were times that I was homeless because for whatever reason, I'd get a job, I'd lose the job, I'd get a job, I'd lose the job. And when I would lose the job, like, I'd have an apartment, but I'm paying market price rent for the apartment, but now I can't afford the rent anymore because I lost my job. Eventually I'd lose the apartment and end up homeless, and that in itself is, like, I say detrimental. It was detrimental to my health. Like, you know, prior to coming to Rhode Island, I've never been homeless. So when I came here to Rhode Island and struggled with work, and struggle with homelessness, like, it was quite shocking. I was, like, probably in my late 30s, early 40s. Like I said, there are a lot of people who are out of work on disability, Social Security, and that at one point was an option for me, and I didn't want to go that route because when I seen how much money they were going to give me, I was like, I can't live off of that. So I continue to work, but it has not been easy. Like, before I would get jobs and lose jobs, and I would feel bad and I would be hard on myself. And I know I'm not stupid, right? Like, I go to school. I'm sorry, my anxiety right now. I go to school, I learn things, I get a degree, I learn a skill, everything I can do to not just obtain a job but keep a job. Like, I take my meds, I go to counseling when I need it. Like, you do everything you can, right? And you exhaust everything you have. And it never changes. Right? In all these years, I just kept going. I just kept going. But now that I'm in my 50s, right, and I have lost another job, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I fought so hard to keep that job and to be here again. When I was younger, I could go through stuff and bounce right back. And now that I'm older, like, yeah, I know I can get another job, right? But how long am I going to have that job before I lose it again? Like, how long is it going to be before I lose my home again? It's just my anxiety, guys. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me because I'm in my right mind. I know what I'm doing. I'm just because I have a mental health disease. Like, people like to label people as crazy, right? I'm far from crazy. I'm far from crazy. Like, this stuff is normal to have emotions. Like, I know that, I have options. I know that there's some things I can do. One of them is to get another job. And I don't think I'm ready for that right now. Like, that whole process of, getting resumes together and job hunting and filling out applications and waiting for people to call you back, and that whole process, like how to do the best resume there can be. Like, there's different ways to do a resume. I know there are programs that can help you with that stuff, like help you get your resume together. I just gotta slow down for a minute because my brain is going too fast. And then, like, the filling out the applications, and oh my god, I hate that stuff, right? But I've been doing it all these years because I need a job, right? And when I was younger, like I said, it was easy to come back from that stuff. But now I feel stuck. Like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. I thought by writing a book, right? Like, I want to become a writer. Like, I can write books. I can work from home. I don't have to deal with people. I don't have to deal with personalities. I don't have to deal with their companies, their expectations. Worried about losing my job every freaking day that I go to work, praying, asking God to pierce my lips, help me do everything right, help me get through the day and get out of there before they find something wrong with me, right? Because they always find something wrong with you. Like, I don't care how hard you try. Like, some people, when you work for a company, you have co-workers, you have house managers. And in fact, at one time we had three, a house manager and two assistant managers. And then you have residential coordinators, the management, the how you see that, the level of management, the chain of command, right? It's just so much. It's so much. And after 5 years of doing it and you still get fired, you'd be like, what the hell? And they it's all about you. It's all you. It's nobody else, right? You have a company with all these employees, right? All fighting for the same thing, right? To keep their job, to do everything right, cross all your T's, dot all your I's. The minute you make a mistake, like, the pressure, people calling you to the office and writing you up and threatening you of your livelihood on a regular basis. If you keep doing this, you're going to get fired. If you keep doing that, you're going to get fired. Like, my God. Like, we're doing everything we can not to get fired, but we're freaking humans. Like, half the stuff, right? that I would get written up for. It's out of my control. I mean, it's mostly he said, she said. Oh, this person said you said this, or that person said you said that. Like, what the hell? Are we still in high school? Um, so over the years, that's pretty much what it's been. Like, he said, she said stuff. I said this. I said that. Why'd you say this? Why'd you say that? It's not what you said. It's how you said it. Um, And as far as job performances, right, you can do your job to the best of your ability, and they're still gonna find something to complain about you. Um, Nobody can go through work years and years and never make a mistake. Like, we're human, we make mistakes, right? But then those mistakes can cost you your job, right? It doesn't matter how well you do the job. It doesn't matter how often you do it, how good you are at it. The minute you make a mistake, it's a problem. Anyway, it's so exhausting. So, yes, I have a book today. I gotta tell you guys, like, I feel raged right now. I feel very raged. Those emotions, right? I feel rage. I feel anxiety. I have freaking hives. My skin is breaking out, probably because of the stress. I have a headache. I feel nauseous. I'm drained. I'm tired. Like, so since the job let me go, right? And this is the shit I'm talking about, right? The job let me go. So my last day of work was September 23rd. It was a Saturday. I have Sunday and Monday off. So we're talking the 24th to 25th. Monday was the 25th. My employer calls me on my day off. I already know. Anytime a job calls you on your day off, it is not good. I seen that movie Friday. Craig, how you get fired on your day off? It happens. So they called me on Monday the 25th, and they was like, oh, we don't want you to go into the house on Tuesday because that's when I go back to work. Instead, we want you to come to the office for a meeting. I already knew. Okay, fine, whatever. Tuesday, the 26th, I go into the office. It took them 1 minute to name 3 things that they felt as though they had to let me go for, right? Fine, this stuff happens all the time. I don't own the company. I don't have any say in what their policies is and what they expect and blah, blah, blah. The list goes on. Bunch of fucking bullshit. Sorry for my language. Okay, fine. That day I go home. I go online. I file for unemployment. They send me an email saying on October 16th, I am going to get a call between 12 and 4 from adjudication. Fine. I clear my schedule. I make sure I have nothing planned for that day, October 16th, between 12 and 4. I'm sitting on my couch. My phone is here. It rings. I pick it up. I'm like, hello? Hello? I don't hear anything. Next thing I know, there's a voicemail. How the hell does it go to voicemail? I'm on the phone. I check my voicemail. I get the information. The woman left her name and phone number and says, give us a call back, whatever. She calls at 1:46. I call her back at 1:48. She doesn't answer the phone. I leave a message. Waiting. By 3:40, she doesn't call me back. I call her again. At 3:40, I leave another message. By the next day, I'm going down to the unemployment office. Because now I'm freaking out. If I miss the call, does that mean I miss my chance of getting unemployment? Did I miss my chance to go through adjudication? What happens now? So, you can never get in touch with anybody when you call unemployment number. So instead of calling and being on the phone, actually I did call and they said there was 30-something people ahead of my call. So I'm like, fine, I'm just going to go down to the office. I go down to the unemployment office, which I have always known to be the unemployment office. The building is there. There's people standing outside, and I ask them, where's the unemployment office? And they point me to the building, which that's what I thought. Okay, I go in the building. Nobody's in the building. There's no workers. There's no desk. There's nothing. I'm like, what the hell? A security guard approaches me. He's like, can I help you? I said, yeah, I'm looking for the unemployment office. He says, this is the building, but we don't use this building anymore because there's a new building. I said, well, where's the new building? He goes, well, is there something I can help you with? I said, yeah, I need a call back from unemployment. There's a desk. There has paperwork on the desk. One of them has like this little QR code, little square box. I'm telling you guys, I didn't grow up with internet, so all this is new to me, and I still don't get it. So the security officer says, hold your phone over the QR code and take a picture of it. I take a picture. Nothing happens. He goes, oh, no. You got to put your camera up. You hold it over the QR code. He showed me. He helped me. A screen pops up. I'm like, great. It asks me for my name, my phone number. I fill out this information. I submit it. It says that you're going to get a call back from unemployment. Great. Fine. I go home. I get a call from unemployment. They're calling from the telecenter. How can we help you? I tell them what's going on. They says, oh, no, you did everything right. It's fine. She's going to call you back. She's got to work you into her caseload, but she will get back to you. A few days go by. Tell me why now I am walking around holding my phone in my hand. Everywhere I go, I'm scared to put the phone down because I'm scared I'm going to miss the call. Now, technically, you're supposed to be out looking for work, right? Like if you file for unemployment, they want you doing at least 3 job searches a week, and there's a log. You got to write down the company name, the person you spoke to, blah, blah, blah. How the hell am I going to go job hunting when I have no freaking income? And I have rent to pay. So the last paycheck I got from my job, I used to pay my rent. Mind you, they let me go. The last day I worked was September 23rd. I had the 24th, the 25th off. They called me on the 25th. They wanted me to come to the office, which would have been the 26th. They let me go. That week, I got my paycheck. Okay, now it's like the 26th, the 27th of September. First of the month, right around the corner. I got market price rent to pay. So that paycheck that I got, I used towards my rent. Now I have no freaking money, right? So with unemployment, when you file a claim for them, right? How they expect you to be out job hunting? You ain't got no money to put gas in your car to get anywhere. Like, am I supposed to just sit on the computer and apply for jobs? Like, not even knowing if I'm even going to get the unemployment, right? Whatever. Days go by. I'm walking around full of anxiety with my phone in my hand waiting to get this call. No call. So I call unemployment. No, actually what happened was, okay, I got an email. I told you guys this, right? I got an email. Then they wonder why people are stressed the fuck out. This shit don't make no damn sense. So I got an email from unemployment, right? So that Sunday, I went online to unemployment and I did my weekly certification because they said you have to certify every week, and based on the results or the outcome of your claim, right? In the meantime, while you're waiting, you still have to certify every week. I've been doing that. This Sunday, I certified. Tell me why I get an email on October 23rd from unemployment stating your weekly payment has been processed. This payment will show up in your bank account or payment card in 1 to 2 business days. Now, this was on the 23rd, right? Here we are on the 25th, and I don't see nothing going on in my account, right? And then I'm thinking, well, how are they going to process my payment when I haven't even talked to no one from adjudication yet, right? So the email states, right? The email states, your weekly payment has been processed. This payment will show up in your bank account or payment card in 1 to 2 business days. And then there's a tab that says visit unemployment insurance online. So I go online because I got questions. How is it that you're processing my payment when I haven't even gone through adjudication? Whatever. So I go online and find out that the case was denied. So I'm like, how the heck was the case denied when I haven't spoke to anyone from adjudication? And then I get an email stating that my payment is being processed. So now I'm online trying to figure out how can I contact someone to speak with a live person to figure out what the heck is going on. So rather than go online, I'm like, let me call on the phone. I call on the phone. Sure enough, there's 33 people ahead of me, right? But there's a prompt you can leave your you can leave a message like they'll call you back. Fine. They call me back. I explained to them what's going on. They said, you haven't spoke to anyone from adjudication? I said, no. Well, it says here that someone called you on this date. I said, yeah, but I never talked to the person. I missed the call, and I called them back and left a message. They said, well, I don't know why that person hasn't called you back. I said, that's why I'm calling to find out. I also got an email stating that you guys are processing my payment, and how are you processing my payment when I haven't even, I didn't get no letter in the mail, like, saying whether or not my case was approved or denied. Now I get an email saying you guys are processing my payment. I'm waiting for adjudication to call me. They don't call me back. So she gets her supervisor on the phone. Her and the supervisor are looking into the case and trying to figure things out. And they're asking me questions, and I'm answering the questions. Like, that's all I've been doing since this has started on, when did I say? Okay, so September 23rd was the last day I worked. The 24th and the 25th I had off. They let me go on the 26th. So since the 26th, I have been trying to file a claim with unemployment, get someone to call me. I'm working hard. I'm chasing these people down. I'm going to the office. I'm calling the number. I'm leaving messages like, really? Like all this? Like what the fuck is going on, right? So the lady and the supervisor, they got me on hold. They're trying to figure out what's going on. She's like, oh, me and my manager, we're working on it. We're going to call you back. Okay, fine. Hang up the phone. They call me back 2 minutes later, and she's asking me questions again. And I'm answering the same questions. And she's like, oh, so this happened on... She said that, well, this happened on the 18th. I said, no, it happened on the 16th. That was the day originally I was supposed to get an adjudication call on the 16th. She's like, the 18th. No, lady, I said the 16th. So she takes all the information again. She goes, well, me and my manager are going to be working on this, and we'll give you a call back before the day is out, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. I get a call from unemployment. It's an adjudication person asking me the same questions all over again. And I am just like, you have got to be kidding me. She's asking me all the questions again. I had to go through the whole process again, tell her the whole story again. She goes, well, it's the end of the day. I'm going to continue to work on this. We'll give you a call back tomorrow. I'm just like, I don't know what is going on with unemployment. I've been working for the past 7 years and have not needed unemployment, right? But now I do. And it's like pulling fucking teeth. Meanwhile, it's October 25th. The first of the month is right around the corner. Even if I get another job, like all this happened on September 23rd, I'm not going to have money in time to pay the rent for the first of the month. And I'm not really worried about it because I've been here 5 years and I'm never late with my rent. But I don't like the fact that I may have to be. I mean, I get nervous because this has happened in the past and I end up losing my apartment. You know, this world, right? And they expect you. They expect you to be normal. Like this whole climate around, like people be like, oh, that's just the world we live in. Like, when did this climate accept this stuff? Like when did it become normal to be stressed out every day about your livelihood? Like when did that become normal? Like I don't understand. Like people be like, oh, you know, I know a lot of people go through this every day, but that don't make it right. Unemployment is a service for people who are unemployed. I've worked the past 7 years. I got fired. It's going to take time for me to even find another job. In the meantime, I have rent and bills to pay. Whether that job fired me or not, right? The reasons that they gave me for firing me, it's all bullcrap because this stuff happens all the time at that job. There are people who have done the same things I've done and worse that are still at that job. No, I don't accept it. I don't accept the climate of people who have conformed to this world and think that it's normal to be this stressed out. You know, it's crazy. It is absolutely absurd. I'm going to tell you guys this, right? Earlier this week, because I know I don't have a job anymore, I know I'm waiting for unemployment, right? Meanwhile, I pay my own gas bill. Not only is the first of the month coming and the rent's due, but if I don't pay my gas bill, I'm going to be sitting in the dark with no heat, right? So I call to get fuel assistance, right? They tell me they're going to mail me an application, right? The application never comes. Tell me why today someone knocks on my door and I'm like, I'm not expecting anyone. I'm like, who's knocking on my door? I peek out my window. I don't see the landlord's car, so I know it's not the landlord, right? It was a neighbor. He says to me, I have your mail. It clearly has my address on it, right? So the mail person, who is a mail person who delivers mail every day, my address is here. It's correct. You don't know the difference between my mailbox and someone else's mailbox? Like the service that people, like, you know, these professional companies, U.S. Post Office, right? They hire people, professional people, to deliver mail. And I know they take tests on, because I know the process to become a mailman. Back in my day, there was a test. It was like 2 or 3 parts to the test, right? You had to remember zip codes. You had to remember addresses. You had to remember routes. Like, it was hard to get a job in there. They make everything so difficult, right? So you go through all that. You pass the test. You become a mail person and you don't even know how to read the mail to put it in the right box. You end up putting it in someone else's box, right? But this stuff goes on all the time. And those people still have their jobs, right? I make a mistake and they fucking fire me. I don't understand this world, right? Like, I am trying my damnedest, right? So that's where the anger comes in. Yes, I'm fucking angry. Sorry for the swearing. Like, this stuff happens all the time and people still have their jobs, but I do something and I get fired. That's some bullshit to me. This stuff happens all the time. Anywhere you go, professional companies, the U.S. Postal Service, the address is correct on the letter, but the mailman put it in someone else's box. And how do they know I want my freaking mail going to somebody else? What if it was something like personal information that is now in the hands of someone else. You know, freaking unemployment office trying to file for unemployment. They're like, oh, somebody dropped the ball. We're sorry. It's our fault. We made a mistake. We did this. We did that. And I'm the one that's sitting here without a fucking job. Are you kidding me? You're kidding me, right? And sometimes at a job, right, you don't have to do anything wrong. It's about people's personalities, your bosses, your supervisors, your coworkers. If they don't like you, they're going to fuck with you. They're going to do everything they can to get you out of that company. Right before I got let go from my company, I was told by coworkers that my manager was going around asking people questions about me, wanting people to write a letter about my performance at work or my behavior, or like what? Like, why are you going around asking people questions about me and wanting people to write a letter about me to send to management to get rid of me? And they've done this to me. They've approached me in the past to ask me to write a letter about somebody, and I refused. Like, no, I'm not writing a letter. I don't want to get involved with that. If there's a reason why you're trying to fire someone, I don't want no parts of it. How dare you come and ask me to write a letter about another employee to try to get them fired? Yeah, we're not doing that. But apparently some people did it to me, right? This world we live in, you guys, is some fucking bullshit. It's some bullshit. And you're supposed to shut up, be quiet, smile, and go with the flow. But the minute you start speaking up, you're the bad person. You're the difficult one. It's all you. It's all you. So I am dealing with fuel assistance because I know with the colder months coming, I'm going to need some help with my gas bill because I don't have a job right now. I filed for unemployment. I'm reconsidering going out on Social Security disability because I don't want to do it anymore. Like, my mental health disease has kept me throughout the years losing jobs, being homeless. I don't want to do it anymore. So yeah, I also am going to apply for Social Security disability, right? Like, I have other options. I did write a book. It is published. It is for sale, right? But, you know, I haven't even gotten any money from my sales from my book. And even when I do, it was $5,400 to get the book published, and I probably paid off like $3,000. There is a balance. So even if I make money off my book, are they going to take the remaining balance of my book fees off the top, which would be like at least $2,000 before I can even start making money off of the book? You know, this world, it's like, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how hard you try. Yes, I am anxious. I am angry. I'm a whole lot of stuff. You know, and for people to sit there and judge you and criticize you, you know, why? For being human, for having emotions, for being angry, for being hurt, for being frustrated, for feeling sad. Like, and this is just your livelihood. This isn't even your personal relationships with like friends or families or your loved one. Like, you know, I told you guys, I'm in my 50s. I've never been married. I date. I was in something with someone for a year who I barely seen because he's going through some stuff that keeps us apart. There was a time in our 1-year relationship, I didn't see or hear from him for 3 months. Again, it had nothing to do with me. I don't believe he's cheating. I don't believe he's seeing someone else. I do not know that he's going through something in his life that he needs to deal with, and it keeps us apart. So, you know, I don't get to see him. Sometimes he doesn't call me. I don't call him. Like, he's going through stuff, and I understand. I get it. Like, life is not easy. We go through stuff, and you know, it probably affects him as far as how he feels about himself as a person, how he feels about himself as a man. And again, like, sometimes people, like, you have to have you together before you can date. If you don't have you, you don't have nothing to offer anyone in a relationship. So I understand where he's at and I understand what's going on. So I just sit here. I just sit here. Um, there are other men who I could date if I wanted to, but you know what? I already have so much going on that, I mean, sure, it would be nice to have a partner, somebody that I can lean on, who can give me some support. But that's not always easy, especially when you have a mental health disease. You got all this stuff going on in your life as far as rent and bills and jobs and income. And, it's so much. It is so much, right? Um, and that's just me. Like, other people, they have stuff too. And when you try to date someone, it can be crazy. And I'm like, I can do it. I can do it. Yes, I get angry, but I'm not violent. I don't go around putting my hands on people. But yes, I have to fight. I have to fight for everything. Whether it's getting a job, whether it's keeping a job, whether it's drawing unemployment, whether it's applying for Social Security. Like, you got to fight for everything. And it is exhausting. It is exhausting. So, of course, people are going to freaking snap. It's normal. It's normal to be angry. It's normal to be frustrated. It's normal to get overwhelmed. It's normal to feel like you just don't want to do it anymore. So that's why I felt like it was, as far as the music selection, Dan Bremnes, Hold You Tonight. Like, yes, I have a higher power. I believe in God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and I have faith in all that. But you know what? Sometimes that's not enough. It really isn't. Like, yes, we have hope. Yes, we have faith. Yes, we believe. Yes, yes, yes. But when it comes to this world that we live in, and the things that we got to do just to be able to live day to day. I mean, sure, I know it's going to work out, but in the meantime, like, what the F? What is going on in this world? Why is it so hard just to survive? We're not even talking about living well. We're just talking about living, period. This shit is ridiculous. It is absolutely absurd. Do I get tired? Hell yeah, I get tired. Like, I don't go around putting my hands on people, but I have to learn to fight in other ways. I have to stand up for myself. I have to not let people back me into a corner and label me and talk like I'm such a bad person or I'm such a bad employee. If I was that bad of an employee, why would they have kept me for 5 years? Obviously, I was doing something right. And I'm not the only person who has gotten fired from that job in the past year. I have seen so many people get fired in the time that I've been there. I should have known my day was coming, right? That place is a toxic work environment. It is toxic. You have co-workers. Everybody's scared to lose their job. Everybody trying to do things right. Everybody panic when something goes wrong. You point fingers at each other. You throw each other under the bus. You try to, like, make yourself look good by making somebody else look bad. Managers, like, they got shit too. They got shit going on too, right? But they're perfect because they're managers. And the people above them, right? We're all human. We all have a job. We all work for the same company. They don't own that company. They don't make the rules, but they get to say who stays and who goes. That's some BS. So yes, I have great tightness in my chest. I am full of anxiety. I am angry as hell. There's a whole lot of stuff going on that is normal. It's normal for the circumstances. And people are like, oh, move on, get another job. Why? Just to do it all again? Who's to say the job is even going to last me a year? I've been at a job where I lasted for 2 years. I didn't get fired. I ended up leaving. That place was even more toxic to my health. I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm a woman in my 50s. I've been doing this a whole lot of years, and I am tired. I am done. My bright idea, right? I'm going to write a book. I'm going to become a writer. I want to work from home and just like write and get paid for my work in writing, right? That way I don't have to worry about working for a company, doing all I can to keep the job and still get fired and have to draw unemployment and risk being homeless again. Like I want, I need to do something to secure my livelihood that is not dependent on somebody else's decision of whether I stay or whether I go. It's exhausting. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm trying to find another way to be able to survive and live. Like I'm not even asking for a whole lot. I just want to pay my rent and keep a roof over my head. And the rents these days, right? The rents alone, like, are you shitting me right now? Are you shitting me? Anyway, guys. So yeah, this page, my YouTube page, Jonniebee 9458, advocating for mental health awareness, mental health wellness tied to education. Like I said, it's not there is no plan, there is no design. It's just something I wanted to create on social media, a place where people can go on a social media platform to learn about mental health diseases, signs and symptoms, cause and effects, how we manage life with a mental health illness, how to support people with mental health illnesses, just like giving people like advice and tips and knowledge and letting them see me, a person with a mental health disease, and what we go through. Like I said, I'm not violent, but I do get angry. I'm angry as hell. I this world is so absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't understand how. Like I said, none of us created this world. None of us asked to be here. We really didn't have a say, but here we are, whether we want to be or not. And a lot of people, right, they have killed themselves. They have taken their lives because it's that bad. And I'm not, I used to be harmful to myself. I don't do harmful things to myself anymore. I don't have harmful thoughts as often as I used to. I'm not saying I never have them. Like, it depends. It depends on life circumstances. It depends on what I'm going through, that I might start to have those thoughts. But I also know that when those thoughts happen, I don't have to act on them, because I know I really don't want to die. I just want to be able to breathe. I just don't understand why we gotta fight so hard to live on this fucking earth that we did not ask to be in. Why do we have to try so hard and fight so hard just to fucking breathe when we didn't ask to be here? And I know everybody goes through this, and I know people be like, oh, move on. We all go through it. I am not going to confirm to the fact that people think this shit is normal, because it can't be normal. It just can't be fucking normal. And then you have these fucking people online. Like, everything is internet now, right? Everything is online. You got to go online to apply for this. You got to go online to apply for that, right? You go online, they're asking you your personal information, and then you got people in the fucking black web, right, that's trying to hack into your fucking computers and steal your fucking information, your name, your date of birth, your social. Like, some of these companies ask you for that information online, right? And you're scared to put that information in because you're wondering, is this the original site for this company, or is this a scam? Like, when I go onto the government agencies' websites, there are people that imitate those websites, right? You have people in the world, right, who is trying to hack into people's computer systems and internet and steal information to take shit that we don't even fucking have. Like, you're targeting poor fucking people. We don't have shit. Like, what are you trying to steal from me? You know, and then I know, like, when the pandemic hit, right? I worked through the whole pandemic, right? I was considered essential staff at the company that just let me go, right? I was considered essential staff. We had to work. I worked through the whole pandemic. And I know, like, when the pandemic hit, there was a lot of stuff about people applying for not unemployment benefits. People were filing for unemployment benefits under other people's names. So some people, right, discovered that someone have filed unemployment insurance claims under their names and was drawing unemployment under their names, right? They got letters from unemployment saying, hey, someone has a claim in your name, right? And this is the shit I'm talking about. Like, everything is online. These agencies, everything's online. You got to go online to apply for this. You got to go online to apply for that. And then they be asking you personal information and you're scared to put it in because you don't even know if it's a real site. Or how about if it is a real site and someone done hacked into your shit and stole your social security number and they're fucking opening credit cards in your name and buying things under your name. And, like, this world is insane. I have so much anxiety when I go on a website to apply for something. It's a lot of anxiety. It's like, do I put my information in? Do I not put my information in? It's insane. And the world has, like, grown accustomed to this stuff. They've just grown accustomed to it. They just accept it. Like, this is life, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. I don't know what kind of life this is. Like, no. So anyway, guys, yeah, I mean, there is no format for Jonniebee's YouTube page, advocating for mental health awareness. You know, I teach about it. I share my experiences with you guys so that you guys can come up to a place on social media, a platform that is safe. You're in your own home. You don't have to go anywhere. You can be out and about during your day and just, you know, use your phone to go onto YouTube and come to my page to, you know, get support with your mental health illnesses and just trying to, you know, manage life with a mental health disease. Like, this shit is ridiculous. It is. This shit is ridiculous. And, you know, I share myself with you guys to show you guys, like, how we navigate through life with a mental health illness and how we get through those moments of difficult times. Like, I might stress about it, I might get angry, I might cry, you know, I might get overwhelmed. Like, I go through a whole lot of stuff, right? But I just keep going. Like, whatever this world throws at me, I gotta, like I said, I don't fight with this. I have to fight with this, right? Sometimes you gotta fight for what's right. You gotta fight for what you deserve, what's yours. Like, it doesn't matter how everybody else thinks like this shit is normal. We know it's not. This shit is not normal. You know, this is the world we live in. We didn't make it. We didn't ask to be here. Everything is good when you're quiet and you go along with the flow. Like everybody's your friend when you just take it and take it and take it. But the minute you start speaking up like this shit is wrong, this shit isn't right, this is that, all of a sudden you're the bad guy. No one wants to deal with you. No one wants to talk to you. No one wants to be around you because you stand out against the grain. I don't, I don't go along with the grain. I don't conform to things that I know is not normal just because everybody else is accepting it. That's just not who I am. And being that person can be a very lonely place. It can be a very lonely place to do what's right, regardless to what the world is doing, what everybody else accepts as normal. Yeah, it could be a very lonely place. Anyway, guys, like I said, I'm here advocating for mental health awareness, mental health wellness tied to education, just sharing my journey with you, being here present with you every day for an hour and a half, talking about mental health awareness, mental health wellness tied to education, and sharing my journey with you guys, like letting you know my thoughts, my feelings, what I think, how I feel, my symptoms of my depression, the anxiety, the panic attacks, the racing thoughts, the overwhelmed feeling, the tightness in my chest, that feeling of that there is no fucking hope. There's no fucking hope for this world. But the fact that we have to wake up every day and keep doing it until God says it's time to come home. And I think a lot of times that's why I was harmful to myself, because I felt like the only way I'm going to rest is when I'm fucking dead, right? The only way out of this is through death. But I know now, like, I'm not going to actually do anything to take my life, and I really don't want to die. But, I don't understand. I don't understand it here. I don't understand this world. And when I cry, it's just because I'm so overwhelmed. The anxiety, like, it's just too much sometimes. It's just too much. It is just too much. I don't understand how people are supposed to be here and be fucking normal. Because there is nothing fucking normal about this life. There's nothing normal about this world. Anyway, guys, like I said, I show up here. Doesn't matter about my mental health state, my mental health condition. I show up every day. I let people know, like, this is what we go through. This is what it is. It doesn't mean you have to act out on those harmful thoughts. The harmful thoughts, they come and go, but they don't stay. And I teach people on how to get through those moments when you're having an anxiety attack. If you're having harmful thoughts, like how to not focus on the harmful thoughts, but try to, like, just write it out and hold on, because it will pass. We don't have to take our lives. We don't have to give in to the mental health illness, the harmful thoughts. Like, I know the feelings. I know sometimes you might feel like you want to die, but you don't really want to die. You're just tired. You're just tired. The world is hard. The world is tough. And yes, it can suck, right? But I still think every day above ground is a good day. And I'm not always like this. Yes, I get happy. I'm happy when things go my way. I'm happy when, it's not about, because they say it's how you are when things don't go your way. And when things don't go my way, it's not like I act out. It's not like I cause harm to other people or myself. But yes, I might cry about it. I might be angry about it. I might be frustrated. We're talking everyday things that should be normal, but it's not. And we have to fight for everything. And waking up fighting every day, after a while, it's exhausting. All these expectations on people, all this demand. You know, you got to jump through hoops to try to get anything done. You work so hard. You put all you have into it, and then it still doesn't work out. Yes, it messes with your self esteem. It messes with, your perspective on things. Like, yes, it does. It does. And sometimes everything could be going great, right? But we're so used to like fighting and going through stuff that even when things are good, we don't know how to just breathe. We're left with so much anxiety and so much fear. And, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yes, I have my good days where I can be happy and carefree and blah, 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 because I have to. I have to keep going. But some days when I'm not that great, I have to embrace that too. I have to embrace the bad days just as much as I embrace the good days. And even on those bad days, I always tell myself, like, yes, it's a bad day, but it could be a lot worse. It can get a lot worse. You never know how life is going to change. It could change for the better. It could change for the worse. So even on those bad days, I'm still thankful, that it's not as bad as it could get. Anyway, guys, that's my take on things. Um, Again, like, take it easy on yourself. It's okay to not be okay. It happens. Embrace those bad days just as much as you embrace the good days. Um, as bad as it may seem right now, um, everything changes in life. I always tell my daughter, if you don't like how things are in your life right now, just hold on, because things change all the time. And hopefully they change for the better and not the worse, because we never know which way it could go, right? Anyway, guys, have a great night. Like I said, even if you're not in a good place, know that it's okay. It's a part of life. I mean, how we respond to things, like, just like we have good feelings of joy and happiness and accomplishment and all these good things, right? The bad stuff is a part of life too. It's a part of life. We have to embrace it just like we embrace the good stuff, and know that, everything changes in time. You just got to get through those moments to get to the other side and hope it's for the better, right? Anyway, guys, have a good night. Have a good evening. Enjoy your evening. I will see you tomorrow. Be well. Bye.